Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me in this important, impactful, useful conversation about why am I here? Why is my specific personality in existence? Why have my experiences happened the way that they have happened? Who am I? And what am I here to do? This is a very important conversation, and I'm very excited that we are together today to have this with not only each other but with ourselves, because ultimately this is an answer that you get to come to the conclusion of. This is an answer that can be a continuous evolution, an answer that continues to evolve as your timeline plays out. So I'm really grateful that we can come together and have some conscious, intentional awareness on this topic. Before we begin, I want to introduce myself to anyone who possibly doesn't know who I am. My name is Ari, and I've been through a lot. I have a lot of experience with transmuting trauma, with alchemizing emotion, with living in the experience of it all. One thing I've come to believe that I'm very excited to be sharing with you in this moment is that life, for me, in my perspective, is so much better when I'm fully present. And one of the things that I've noticed that gives me the fullness of my presence is my ability to feel the moment, my ability to feel everything that's present. And although it can be overwhelming at times, it can also be so rich and delightful in other times. So to begin this video, I want to start with feeling everything, and I'll continue to introduce more about myself as the video unfolds. But I want to start this video and a lot more of my videos moving forward with guiding myself and yourself to be in the experience of ourselves in a deeper way, to connect with who we are. And the reason why I am guiding us to do this is because I believe that it makes life richer. I believe that it makes us smarter. I believe that it makes us more of who we truly are. So let's start with a deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. There's nothing that needs to happen in this next moment. Breathing in again. Breathing out through the mouth again. Everything you've done leading up to this moment, breathing in, has been perfect. Breathing out. Holding at the bottom. When you feel ready to allow the breath in, feeling the breath come in, and at your own pace and time, letting the breath come out through the nose. Letting your breath become the breath that it is destined to be. Recognizing your ability to hold space for more breath. Recognizing your ability to pause in the moments that you feel inspired to pause. This is your sovereignty. This is your individuality that we want to get intimate here. The way that you have experienced your breath up until this moment has only been known by you. No other human can ever know or understand your relationship with your breath. So in these next few moments, allow yourself to fully and completely be with all that your breath is. Not needing to make anything happen, just noticing that you are a live, breathing vessel full of love and light and all the beautiful, wonderful things that are inside you. Just recognizing all of those things and being here with all that is within. at your own time. Choose to bring your awareness to where your feelings are most active. This can be in the body, this can be outside of the body, this can be in a certain place. Where do your feelings feel the most intense? Where can you come to be most in touch with your feelings? If at all possible, and if it feels good and inspiring to do so, let's try our best to feel the reality of our feelings within the body. So if you've been one of those beautiful beings that's listening to this right now that happen to feel that you can be most in touch with your feelings when you're at the beach, or maybe you can be most in touch with your feelings when you're in the car, bring that energy, that intensity into the body here and now in the physical space that you exist in now, and give yourself permission and the ability to feel completely, totally, intimately. Give yourself the permission to feel all of what your experience is in this moment in time, realizing you are doing this because you recognize that this is the only moment in time and space that you exist as this version of you in, because in a moment you change. In a day you change so much more than you'll ever really know. But the closest we can get to knowing that change and being with that change and understanding that change in this moment is to be present with that heart space. So continue to feel the energy that is present in this moment. Letting it all be as it is. Choosing to be in touch with this one moment, and letting this one moment move as your body moves through space and time, recognizing through what you are feeling inside your relationship to the life that you are. Continuing to hold space for all aspects that are here. We are open. We are light. And when you feel as though you've contacted, or whatever word you might be using, you've embodied, you've danced with, you've been present with, all that you are, when you feel complete in that, we are introducing a vision. You might get a vision of your own. You might hear your higher self, your guardian angel, your spirit team guiding you into a certain vision. Hold that in your heart. Hold that energy here today, remembering that you are capable of seeing across all time and space. So what you are experiencing is valid, and it is important, and it is useful. So hold space for that. And the vision that I am planting seeds for within you, if you'll allow me to, is this vision of the results of the experience that we'll be having with our conversation today, and with the energy that I'll be introducing into your life today, of this possibility of coming into the awareness of the knowledge and wisdom that exists within, that gives us answers to why am I here. So I want you to imagine that you have that answer inside you. Maybe even taking it bigger and imagining that you have all answers inside of you. Any question that you could possibly be presented with, the answer exists in this space that you're in with yourself and with me today. Holding that frequency and that energy, making space in your body for this truth. This truth that the answer I am seeking is within. The power I am seeking is within. All I need to know is here, in the light of my awareness now. So together we manifest the results of our time together. Together we set an intention of our time together. The time that we will be spending watching this video, experiencing this video, sharing this space together. It's here to be the journey from vision to visualized, from non-physical to physical, from idea of that would be great to experience that to wow, I'm so happy that I had that experience. We're walking that path together today, and I'm so excited that we can do that. So thank you so much for tuning in and being here. Once again, I am Ari. I'm your guide for this journey. Today, we are venturing into your beliefs and your ideas and your experiences to bring some information into your awareness about why are you here? What am I here for? Who am I? We're going to bring some information to you about that. And I do this because I am deeply fascinated with our experiences and our existences on this earth. I am truly in love with the experience, and I wasn't always. So part of why I do this work is because I know that I'm meant to be someone that shows what's possible from learning to love this experience and growing to be the version of self that you want to be, versus thinking that there's this version of yourself that you could visualize that can never possibly be you, but realizing, yeah, that's you and you're on your journey. So this video is going to help you with being the version of self that you want to be, realizing that the things you want are the things that you have, and you're simply here because you're on a journey of experiencing that becoming, desire becoming achieved, wanting becoming having. It's beautiful to experience that. I'm gonna refresh myself and look at my notes real quick and remember where I decided that we would begin. So I titled this video, Do You Want the Answer to the Question, What Am I Here For? To hope that you would be someone that wants that answer and that is ready for that answer to come into your life. As I mentioned earlier in this video, something that I believe in this moment in time is that this answer is an answer that will evolve. So you could come to experience some answers today, but maybe 2 years from now, you decide to change the answer that you've come to. So it would be a good idea to have a journal with you for this experience. You can write this down wherever you feel like you want to write it down so that you can document what you're experiencing, and you can watch yourself have more information come to you as you open up more to receiving the answer to this question. One of the first things I wrote to share with you was that you are the answer. That this is something you need to decide, and it's not something I would tell you. So this is not an instructional video where I'm just gonna be like, you're here to do this, and this is what you're here for. And yes, I'm psychic, and yes, I can channel, but this is not something that I feel called to be like, let me channel the energy of my collective and see what they're here for. This is not what that is for me. For me, and like knowing that I'm the creator of this and I am taking the responsibility to give you an answer that I believe in and an answer that I trust in this moment in time, is to tell you that there is no answer to this question without you. You are the creator of the answer. You are the creator of the question. You are the one that's deciding everything about your experience. And as we move forward, I'm sure that you'll be able to experience that more. I hope you have your journal with you, and I hope you're ready, because the first thing we're going to be doing is making a list of everything you've known yourself to experience in this life. This is something I'm so excited to present to you. I want to share a little bit of where this came from and why we're coming to this experience. So if you have your journal, you can title this however you want to title it. Get creative, use the energy that's within you to bring this to life. Have fun with this. And we want to look at everything you've known yourself to experience in this life. Because when the question, what am I here for, comes to me, I have a very practical approach where I'm thinking, what I'm here for must be, up until this point, what I've experienced. The answer exists in my life. I'm here to put on earrings. I'm here to pick out a shirt. I'm here to get a haircut. These are very simple, basic answers for what am I on earth for? What am I experiencing this human body for? What's the purpose? The purpose could be as simple as, I'm here to make a video. I'm here to watch a video. It can be so satisfying to bring an answer to yourself that actually makes sense and that your physical self has actually experienced. This is a question that I've seen get so mystical and metaphysical, and I love that because I love metaphysics and I do consider myself a mystic, but at the same time, in order to have some sort of satisfaction and some sort of, okay, I've arrived and I've done something and I've completed something, it's really beautiful to be able to look back on the memories that you've had and the experiences that your physical body and your emotional body, your mental body, your soul has been able to experience and say, yeah, I came here to get that haircut. I came here to decide that I wanted to do this, and that's what I did. And I think to those of us that are very spiritual, it might be like, what? Like, I just came here to go to the mall and pick out an outfit? Like, there's no way my body like came into existence from all the different generations just to do something like that. And if that's how you're feeling, then we're actually going to explore those feelings later on in this experience. But for now, what we want to do is only look at the past and everything that's coming to your mind. You might have already started journaling. If you haven't started, that's cool. If you haven't started, you're going to want to start, and just list out everything that comes to your mind about what you've been experiencing, everything that you actually physically have experienced in this life. I mean, it doesn't have to be everything, but everything that comes to your mind in the next few minutes. I'm going to stop talking in a moment to give you that space to really like get into yourself and be able to think about what these experiences are. I'm going to give you a few more examples in case you need them. Something else a few things that I wrote when I was working on this project were, I'm here to watch movies, I'm here to eat delicious food, and I'm here to fall in love. Like, we've got a few things that I've done that I can remember, that I know that I'm here on earth for, that simply and factually because it's something that I truly did experience. So go ahead and write those things down, and I'll give you 4 minutes exactly. So I'm gonna be watching the time. We're on 21 right now, so I gotta stop when we get to 25, and I'm gonna do this with you. I might as well. What else am I gonna do? So I'm gonna make my own notes about what I've been here to do, and we will continue when the 4 minutes is up. We've got about 2 minutes left, really like a minute and a half. Remember what you've done in your life. It should be simple. If it's getting complicated, you've gone off the road a little bit. Come back to the road. We're looking at simple things. The last thing that I wrote before I started talking was, I'm here to get a sunburn. Like, we're talking about just letting consciousness flow and reminding yourself of the experiences that you've had on earth and deciding, yeah, that's what I'm here to do. Okay, so I've given you guys about 4 minutes. If you don't feel complete yet and there's more stuff that is coming to your mind, if you're still in this flow of all these things you've been here for, totally pause the video, give yourself all the space and time that you deserve. This is an important thing that we're talking about. We're talking about the purpose of your life. We're talking about why you're here on earth. It's super important and it's super meaningful and valuable. So take your time with this. If you feel like you're complete and you wrote down everything you want to write down, write down them, that's great. We can keep going, but just remember, pause the video if you need to. And when you feel complete, I want you to just look at your list and get back to that feeling center and really feel all of this. Feel what your life feels like. It doesn't have to be a positive feeling. You could be at a point in your life where you're like, oh, like, is this really what I'm here to do? These are all the things that I do. Life is made up of small moments in time. This right now is your life. This right now is my life. There's nothing outside of this that, I mean, there is a lot outside of this. But I guess what I'm going for with this is sharing that life is these small moments. It's not something that's out of reach, that we're moving towards. It's something that's overflowing out of what exists here and now. So be real with what's here. You're safe to feel everything that you feel about the life that you're living. You are entitled and allowed to feel any feelings about your life. No one's going to be upset with you if you're so overjoyed and you're like, wow, this is my life. I'm here to do this. This is incredible. And same for the opposite. If you're like distraught and upset about what you've written down and maybe it's not what you thought it would be, that's cool too. Be real about where you are, because who you are in this moment in truth is what's useful to the self and to the soul. Who you are when you're acting and trying to be someone greater than what you are in this moment or lesser than what you are in this moment, shrinking yourself or making yourself more big, that's not useful to the soul. The soul relies on truth. Truth is what feeds the soul. So be truthful with what you're feeling. This is a safe space. This is your space. Create safety for yourself. Allow yourself to feel everything that you feel about your experience and about what you've written down. What you've written down shows, yes, what you believe that you're here for, but it also shows energetically where you're at with your concept of yourself. So you could have brought any memories of your past to your mind, but these are the ones that came to you. This is the state that you've been in. This is really good information that's going to tell you a lot about what state of being you have been choosing to be in these few moments of spending this time with yourself. And this is a great time to ask yourself, this is an important question that's coming through, I can feel it. How do I want to feel about my life? How do I want to feel about my life? And if you want to take notes on how you've been feeling about your life, you can also answer that question as well. How have I been feeling about my life? Based on everything that you've written down, and I can feel the spectrum right now. I can just feel it. I can feel that there are people that are watching this that are like, wow, I've had an amazing life. I've felt this great feeling about my life, and you want to journal about that, and you want to notice if you want to continue feeling that way about your life, you want to journal about that too. And then I can also feel the other spectrum, the other side of the spectrum, where it's like, you're disappointed and you're distraught, and don't worry. You don't have to feel, everything is temporary. You don't have to feel what you're feeling right now forever. So be aware of what space you're in. How have I been feeling about my life? What does this list show me about myself? Look at yourself from an unbiased, introduce that version of yourself that's just the observer, and just look at all of this and be like, okay, what does this tell me about me? And just be that loving, accepting, unconditional loving space for yourself at this time. I'm here doing it for you too, so you're not alone. And just take in that information. How have I been feeling about my life? How have I been feeling about my life? So the two questions that, if it feels good for us and we're in agreement with this, we should have answers for: how have I been feeling about my life, and how do I want to feel about my life? I haven't answered them yet, so I kind of want to give myself some space to answer them. And another thing I want to share is that this is great to show you where your focus has been. You can look at some of the things you've written down and been like, oh, that must be important to me because I wrote that on the third, it's number 3 on the list. It's one of the first 3 things that came to my mind about my life. So just get inquisitive about what you've written down, realizing that this is going to tell you a lot about who you believe yourself to be. Because remember, in this human experience, there's so many concepts, and it's not so much about who we truly are most of the time. Most of the time it's about who we have chosen to believe ourselves to be. So don't let this mean, oh my gosh, this is the type of person I am. What? It could be that it's just who you've been believing yourself to be. And that can always change. You can always, always, always create in this life. So I'm going to give myself a few moments to answer these questions, and then our journey will continue. The journey's really always continuing, though, for real. Okay, when you feel complete, we're gonna move to the next phase of the journey. Remember, you have the ability to pause the video whenever you need to. If you need more time and space to process things, go at your own pace. This is your journey. We are making a second list. We want to make a list of everything you want to experience here in this life. And before we begin on making that list, we want to do one more reflective thing. Because we used pen and paper, or maybe you typed this out to take your notes, but because we used the power of notes, notes are so powerful. You can create so many things through writing and words. So what we want to do is look at the things that we've said we are here for. I'm here to watch movies. I'm here to eat delicious food. Everything you wrote down. If you wrote down anything that you wouldn't want to continue to experience, if there's something that you wrote down, like maybe you went through a divorce and you were like, I'm here to experience divorce, I want you to edit that and change it to, I was here to experience that. Or you can cross it out, or you can like erase it or something. But we want to get into the future. So we reflected on the past, and since we're getting into the future, there could be things that we experienced in the past that we want to just wrap up and say, okay, I was on earth to experience that, but now I'm on earth to experience something different because I learned XYZ and I realized that these are the experiences that I want to experience. I'm aware of myself as a conscious creator of my reality, and this is the step that I'm taking to create what I want to create. So go through your list, and yeah, I see something on my list right now that I'm like, I don't think I want to be here for that anymore. So I'm going to use the color red, and I'm just gonna cross it off. You can cross it out, you can change it to past tense, like I said, say I was here to do that, but it's a different version of me that didn't know what I know now, so now I'm gonna let that go. And then, leaving the things that you see that you're like, I'm here to experience this, I'm here to experience that, like continue to allow that to be your definition for why am I here, because this is something that you have information on from up until now. And it's also something that is evolving, something that you have a choice, something that you can make decisions in this space and time to create for yourself. So that's what we're gonna get into right now, is the creation part, the future part. The part that I'm a little bit more excited about. The future excites me much more than the past does. For me, the past is very informational and a little bit more serious, but the future, I haven't experienced it yet. It's something that I have a lot more creative authority over, it seems, than the past. You do have creative authority over your past. However, for me, the difference I'm experiencing with my future as opposed to my past is that my physical body gets to go in and experience the futures that I choose for myself. Whereas I can choose certain past experiences for myself, but I can only do that through the mind and through the heart. And I mean, my physical body hasn't been able to go back in time. If anyone has been experiencing that, let me know. I'd love to know about that. But for now, all I can do with changing the past is working through my mind and my heart. But when it comes to changing the future and creating the future and choosing the future, I can use my mind, my heart, and my body to do that, which is so exciting. So we're feeling complete. We're ready to move on. Our next list is that we are making a list of everything we want to experience here in this life. So everything you want to experience, what is it that you want to experience? What is it that you want to be here for? This is when you get to get dreamy and excited and imaginative. What am I here for? What am I here to experience? And I'm gonna open up and share something that's super personal in a second before I give you space to do this on your own. But the thing, I only wrote down one thing before I started this, and I wrote down that I am here to act in a film that is meaningful to me. I want to do that before I die. It's something that I make so big in my mind, and writing it down for the sake of this experience that we're having here together has made it a little bit smaller when I realized how many people in the world have ever acted. There are so many. How many people in the world have been in films? So many. Why not me? Why can't I do that? So that's something that I'm gonna add to my definition of what am I here for. I'm here to act in a film. I'm here to be on set, and I'm here to have that experience. I'm here to see my desires become physical reality. I'm here to learn about manifestation. Look at me. I've got this great narrative about what am I here for. And if that's something that you want, then continue with me. And we're gonna make a list of everything that we are here to experience in this life, everything that we want to experience in this life. And we're deciding, I am here for that. If it's something that I desire in my heart, it's something that means something to me. And if it means something to me, that means something. That matters. And it wouldn't mean something to me, and I wouldn't want it if there wasn't a potential for it to occur in the physical world. The non-physical is very much so related to the physical. So everything you desire in your heart and can feel and think and conceive in the mind is meant to be a possibility for the self to experience in the physical world. So I'm going to give you the same amount of time as before. I'm going to give you 4 minutes. Remember, you can take more time to yourself if you can, but I'm going to be quiet for 4 minutes, and I'm going to write down everything that I want to experience in this life, starting it off with I am here to, and just writing down my ideas about what I'm here to experience, what I'm here on this life, what I'm here in this life for. And the clock is at 40 minutes, so I'm gonna stop you at 44. One of my favorite angel numbers. It's so meant to be. So go ahead, start journaling, and I'm so excited for you to experience what comes through. Yay! all ideas that come to us in this time and space are in accordance with the divine design of our lives. Okay, it's been 4 minutes. Remember, pause the video if you need more time for this section. This session was so fun, and I've got a great big list of all these things that I'm here for. How great is it to simplify this question? A question that can be so big, a question that, in my experience, my mind has made it just a lot more complex than this in the past. And in the past, I've had an idea of what I'm here for that was always out of reach, that created, that hamster wheel effect of I'm always reaching for something. It's like the universe dangling the carrot of I'm reaching for something I can't quite get to. And I feel that having this list will not only help me, but will also help you to arrive into your body, arrive into your physical experience, and realize that this is what you came for. And so is this, and so is that. Tonight is what you came for, tomorrow morning is what you came for, yesterday is what you came for, last month is what you came for, next month is what you came for. Every single moment in time and space is a sacred experience of you and your physical body and your soul and your heart all being present for life. So I just want you to take some time and space to reflect on what you wrote about what you're here for, maybe some things that you want to have in the future, maybe some things that you've realized that you're truly here for, maybe some feelings that you're here to feel, maybe some activities you're here to do. You might be inspired to put this somewhere where you can look at it, where you can read it, where you can be more aware of why you're here so that you can let this definition grow and evolve and change. Maybe there's something that you wrote like, I'm here to travel to Africa, and then like next year you're like, you know what, I don't really want to do that. Like maybe that will change. Maybe that will be something that is always a desire for you, and you realize I should do more research on that. I should take more action towards that thing that's on this list, because clearly it means something to me if I've decided that is part of the reason why I'm here. This will also show you more information about your personality, more information about who you believe yourself to be. There could be things on here that come from your upbringing, that come from the way you've been taught how to live in the world, and maybe you want to let go of some of those things and say, you know what, I'm not really here for that. Like, I was raised in a way that made me believe that I was here for that, but now I'm realizing that who I am today is someone different, and I'm here for this other thing. I highly recommend saving this video and coming back to it. You can choose like 6 months from now, a year from now, 2 years from now. You can come back to it and do this activity again. You can choose to look over everything and just do it on your own without watching this video again, and just, answering those 2 questions. What am I here for? What have I been experiencing in the past? What have I been showing life? What I believe I'm here for? What have I been showing this version of yourself? Like, maybe you knew all along that you'd be here and you'd have this time and space to be reflected, and you'd have this guide appear that's here to show you what kind of life you've been living, and you've been able to have the time and space to safely and with compassion look over your life and see what you've been experiencing and what you've been choosing, and what you've been choosing and what you've been experiencing is showing you who you believe yourself to be. And then everything that you put for the future, everything that you decided you want to experience in this life, giving yourself that definition that something I want for my future is also something that answers the question, what am I here for? That is so powerful. And deciding that you came into this physical body, that you decided to have this life, this one opportunity that you have to express this one personality that will never exist in the same way that it has existed in this space and time. You have the ability to choose to go into this dream that you've dreamt for yourself in this moment with your pen and paper, with the typing and the note-taking you've been doing. You get to decide that this is meaningful to you, that this is an experience that you want to have, and you want this to be something that defines your life for yourself. So I believe that what you do here on this earth, in this life, with this body, with this mind, with this heart, with this soul, is what you are here to do. I believe that the answer to the question, what am I here for, exists in the moments in time, the real life experiences that you've been having. And those experiences have served us greatly to show us where you are at and who you believe yourself to be. And the other list that we have of everything that you want to experience here in this life is showing you what you want for yourself and who you believe yourself to be capable of becoming. You wouldn't be able to have awareness of something that could possibly be your future if it wasn't in alignment with your divine design. Everyone is here to create a life that they truly love. So allow yourself to have the energy, the resources, everything that you need. Anything that you feel is a block on your journey that's stopping you from experiencing any type of experience that you can see and feel yourself having, that simply is an invitation for you to get closer to your spiritual self, your guidance. An example of that, let's say for me, like, I'll use my big personal thing that I shared with you guys, the fact that I want to act in a film that's meaningful to me. Okay, so let's see, what's something that actually comes up? I have no experience with acting. I could easily take the fact that I have no experience with acting, and I could make that a reason why I never take action towards that goal, right? But remember what I said. If you can put it into words because you've had it in your mental space and you've had it in your heart space, that means it's a potential that exists in time and space for you. If you can get visions about it, that means it's even more on your timeline. It's close to you. Go there. It's almost like living next to Walt Disney World. Like, that's a place that people love to go to. Why don't you just go? Oh, I have no experience in acting. Okay, that's an invitation to go into divine assistance. That's an invitation to get even closer to your guides, to whoever you believe that can help you, to whatever spirit guide you want to call into your experience, or to get closer to your God self, to get closer to the fact that you are the conscious creator. And if you decide, I don't have any acting experience, and that's going to hold me back from having this great experience that I know that is possible for me to have in this lifetime, that's going to happen because I'm the conscious creator of my experience, and I'm co-creating with all of the lives around me, and whatever I'm holding within myself and believing and speaking into existence will be. So now that I know that and I realize the power that I have as a conscious creator, I'm going to decide, okay, it's true for me that I have this, this block, this idea that I can't act in a film that's meaningful to me because I have no experience with acting. What is the opposite of that? To me, it comes really quickly because it's something I want and something I know that I have and something that I believe in. I will have all the acting experience that I need. The acting experience that I need in order to fulfill this desire is coming to me in perfect timing. The acting experience that I need is the acting experience that I have. If I truly needed it, I would have it. I will have the acting experience that I need to have in the moment that I need to have it. Those are just some examples. And if this were something that I was attempting to manifest within this year, within this month, I personally would use a manifesting method. One of my favorites is the 5x55 method, where you basically, I would just Google it if you haven't heard of it, if you need more information on it, because like for the sake of time, I just don't want to go too into detail about manifesting methods for this video, because we were on track for answering this like big question and we basically came to the answer. So I want to wrap the video, but I guess this is like a bonus teaching that's just coming through because it's meant to. But basically, you write down an affirmation 55 times, 5 days in a row. I've done it and it's really beautiful and wonderful. I did it, the first time I ever did it was so beautiful and so wonderful. I healed my skin, and I'm so happy and grateful that I have perfect skin. That was the manifestation that I wrote down over and over and over again, and now look at my skin, glowy and perfect and wonderful. So that's something that I manifested, and yeah, I would write something like that. I'm so happy and grateful now that I have acting experience. I'm so happy and grateful now that I have acting experience. I could write that over and over and over again. The blocks, the limiting beliefs, all of that, that's literally like, if you were someone that, like, I don't know, for some reason, like my guides right now are showing me a quarter and they're showing me that it's flipped on tails, and it's like the block is that quarter that's on the ground that's flipped on tails. And because you want to see a quarter that's flipped on heads, you're just like walking past it like, oh, like, why are all the quarters on tails? And like, maybe you just like, since you've been focusing on the fact that there's a block, you see that there's a quarter facing tails and you're like, it needs to face heads, but I don't see anything. And you're just like creating this cycle for yourself, and the universe is saying, reach down to the ground to that quarter and flip it over to heads if that's what you want to see. So basically, the block is showing you what you want to see, and it's appearing in the way that you don't want to see it. So just flip it over, just reverse it. If it feels difficult, if it feels icky, if it feels sticky, it's most likely the opposite of something that feels wonderful and beautiful and full of ease and flow. Something that is your difficulty, your struggle, is simply the opposite of your liberation, your ease, your flow. So anything that comes up that seems to be a reason why you can't have something that you can picture for yourself, take time to sit with it, take time to meditate with it, see if you can flip it over. Another thing, last thing that I wanted to bring up is a story of one of my experiences. So this is in relation to this last part of our experience together here today. If it feels necessary and fun and good and in your flow, you can dig deeper into what you wrote here and decide, come into contact with the information that answers the question, where does this experience come from? I did this with myself before I started the workshop with the 3 things that I wrote before the workshop started. I didn't do too much. I did a lot more when I was filming. But I mean, like, I didn't write a very long list. I wrote a long list while we were recording, so I didn't have this before. But anyways, I had these notes about where does this experience come from, and I wrote down, I'm here to watch movies, I'm here to eat delicious food, and immediately I knew this experience, this idea came from what I watched my parents doing. I watched my parents, blah, 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 blah. I don't want to get too much into it, but this is something that I remember, watching my parents watch TV, watching my parents eat delicious food, and I remember feeling that they were in a state of joy, that they really loved to make food for themselves, and that's something that I now have ingrained in me. That's where it came from. And it's really cool to see where some of these things came from, just to see where they come from, to see what is it that has made you you. Where have you received the answers for your questions from? And you could go even deeper within, have some more time in meditation to maybe feel outside of all the experiences that you've had on this earth, what am I here for? And seeing if you come to that big, overwhelming answer, and if you can just mix it with all the simple answers and just make something that feels really good to you, that really answers this question for yourself. I also wanted to address, where does this come from? That specific question in regards to the possible futures that you're tuning into. Where does this come from? An experience that I had that was in alignment with a desire that I had for myself that was so profound happened, it might have been the year 2020, either 2020 or 2021. I believe probably 2020. I was obsessed with fitness at that time. If you guys can remember my story that I've told before, I've told you the story about, but maybe you're new to it, so I am gonna go over it, so don't worry. You're not left out on anything. I saw a bunch of people posting fitness content all of a sudden while I was in college. This was like the year 2017. One of the women that I was watching a lot of her videos, her name was Whitney Simmons. I loved her videos. I thought immediately that I would become a fitness influencer and that I would create an app. Whitney was creating an app. Whitney had a 9-to-5 that she hated, that she was getting depressed. She was like always going to fast food restaurants, and like that was the highlight of her day. There was this whole video that she made that inspired me to want the same for myself. I was in college at the time. I didn't know what career I was gonna have, and I always knew that I didn't want to work in an office. And when I saw what her experience was with working in an office, it reaffirmed my beliefs of, okay, I've got to do something that provides for myself. I've got to create a career for myself, and I'm going to create a career in fitness. And my mom, she was like my go-to for everything at the time. She was like the person that was supporting me at the time, and she said that I couldn't do something like that. She told me that if I really loved fitness, I should go be a physical therapist. To her, posting videos of your workouts online and like making money somehow through that just didn't make any sense and didn't seem like the responsible, reliable thing to do. I also just felt like I couldn't do it. I was terrified of filming myself. I would never turn on the camera and just talk. I wouldn't dare to. At that time, that was 2017. There was no way. I always told myself that I needed a professional camera, and I knew that I wouldn't spend the money to get a camera, and I didn't even consider filming on my iPhone, which is so interesting. That I had these things that stopped me. So I ended up getting a job in personal training. I'm kind of skipping over because I want to get to the part of the story that's relevant to what you're experiencing right now. And what you're experiencing is you likely have a list that you've just written, that you've just created, that has some desires in it. And something that happened in my life experience that gave me so much wisdom and saved me so much time and energy. I worked with a life coach, and this was while I had a career in personal training. I had this desire. One of my desires was to enter a NPC competition, and I wanted to compete in bodybuilding. And it was one of those desires that just kind of sat. It sat and sat and sat, and I didn't do anything about it. Same thing with the fitness videos. Obviously, because this is the timeline my soul chose. My soul chose to make videos about emotional health and self-reflection, and these are my passions now, and this is what I'm creating now. So it's all worked out in the end. It's not the end, but from this moment in time, it seems like it all worked out, so that's great. However, this experience that I had was incredibly shifting, and I want to tell you about it. I met with this life coach, and I started talking about going to this competition and experiencing a bodybuilding competition, and he asked me a bunch of questions that led me to discover that my true desire, which is so embarrassing to admit, my true desire was to have complete control over what I chose to eat. I thought that if I was competing in a fitness competition, that it would give me control in the kitchen. Because at the time, I was still having moments of unconscious eating, and I felt like I didn't have complete control over what I chose to eat. And that was something that I struggled with for a couple years in my life. And it's something that I'm completely free from today. And I love sharing about it because I just believe that it's something that someone watching this video might relate to. And I would hope that I would be someone that could inspire you to tell you that you're gonna get over it and it's gonna be fine. But at the time, I had other desires that were within my desire to compete in a competition. And competing in a bikini competition is a lot sexier than healing an unhealthy relationship with food, right? Competing in a bikini competition can grow your audience on social media. That's what I was thinking about, because I still had that dream to make YouTube videos, and I still had that dream to have a career in content creation, to share my workouts, to share my experiences. And I still wasn't doing that because I settled and I shrunk into this career as a personal trainer. That ended up being like really great and really expensive, but at the time it wasn't what I actually wanted. And so I realized that this desire to be competing in this bikini competition, this bodybuilding competition, it was like a mask for what I really wanted. And my life coach told me, you are fully capable of having complete control over your eating habits. You can do that. And if you did that, would you still want to compete in a bodybuilding competition? And I said no. If I had complete control over what I was eating, I wouldn't want to compete in a bodybuilding competition. And here I am now with complete control over what I eat, and I don't really want to go do a bodybuilding competition. It's so cool how this person was able to just allow me to see what I was doing to myself. Getting honest with yourself and getting deep with yourself is so important. So I tell you this story to give you time and space, to give you the opportunity to deeply look at some of the things that you desire for yourself. Maybe they showed up through your list of what you're here to do and who you're here to be. I definitely want to do some soul searching and some digging into my desires to see, okay, yeah, do I really want to act in a film that's meaningful to me? What is it that I really want? Is that the same thing as the bodybuilding thing? Is there something that is more within my reach that I actually want? Or, it could be that it's something that I want, but there are little things that are like little stepping stones that can be something that, gets me to that other desire, if that makes sense. Like, maybe there are small desires that lead up to having the big desire come to be physical manifestation. Because what we want to do as we consciously create our experience on earth is have experiences that bring us joy and love and all the positive emotions that we know are so wonderful to experience. And I'm definitely someone that can have a good time crying and think that it's so great to experience grief and loss. And I think all of that is so incredible when it's being experienced by a mind and heart and body and soul that's open to it and that can feel it coming through instead of feeling captivated and out of control of it, if that makes sense. So we want to be open to feeling our emotions. We want to have visions come to us that are in alignment with our divine design. We want to have desires that are beautiful and wonderful, that bring us hope and faith in life and allow us to have a relationship with life that is truly fulfilling and wonderful for us. Allow us to have an experience with time that is truly fulfilling and wonderful for us. Angels and guides, am I missing anything? Did I get it all here? I hope this workshop was highly impactful for you. It feels like a workshop. I didn't even call it a workshop earlier, but now I'm like, this was a workshop. This was work. This was our self-reflective, intuitive, magical moments in time with ourselves. I hope you enjoyed this. If you didn't, then self-reflection might just not be for you, and that's okay. But I hope that everyone that's here up to this point truly enjoyed this experience. I am so happy and grateful that I can be alive in this time and space to create something for you that is an expression of what's alive in me today. I woke up and wrote these notes today. I had this idea come to me today. Decided to turn on my camera and film it today. I know it wasn't perfectly polished and incredibly scripted, but I hope that just made it feel like I'm just hanging out with you and going through this with you. I don't put myself into this experience of I'm teaching you on purpose, because I know that the greatest teacher of all time for your perspective is within you. I know that the greatest leader for you is the one that you are, and I know that you are fully capable of discovering what it is that you are here for. Why is it that I came into this human experience? I know that you're capable of coming to that answer through yourself, and that doesn't mean that you can't do it in a community. That doesn't mean that other people can't provide you with insights and information. However, I believe that the greatest information for you is always going to come from you. You have a specific language that no one else can tap into, that gives you the peace and the love and the joy that you're always here to experience. So you deserve that. You deserve to be in touch with your greatness in all spaces, across all timelines. I wish you eternal connection with all that you are in truth. Thank you again for having this wonderful experience with me. If you like this video, give it a like. I hope that there are incredible comments down below. I can't wait to hear the comments on this video and to see just what your feedback is and what you've been able to feel and experience, just how you feel about this video. I would love to know about it. If you want any of my digital products, there's links in the description box for that, and I will connect with you more in the future. Thank you so much for being here with me, and I am full of thoughts of gratitude for your life. I'm full of visions that are so bright I can't even fully make them out. And these visions and these thoughts are all a reflection of your energy. You are wonderful, you are lovable, you are incredible. Always stay in touch with that, always remember that. I will connect with you more in another video.